certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode.
Is he muted for everyone else?
I can't hear him either. Yeah, I don't know.
You cut
Welcome
out
to
like
Rankle.
3 words. Welcome to Dishes with Chad. Today, Chad's going to show you how to scrub your shit clean. He likes to use a circular motion. Wax on, wax off, as the cool kids say.
And now he does your paint for us.
And if he doesn't clean it right, Carrie will beat him. They have a very abusive relationship. A lot of people don't know that. And Steven. Oh, Steven, I was going to make fun of your posters. I think you added 2 new ones. What's the little boy on your left? That sounds weird. Okay, my left. If I'm looking at you on the screen, there's like 2 posters to your right.
Okay. That is I think that's the rocker.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Oh my.
But we won't
Malcolm's having sound issues.
Oh, I hear something clicking.
Can you hear me now?
You are silky smooth, my friend. Take it away.
Yeah, so I had my must have turn my mic down or something. I don't know. Yeah, we're here to talk about Paul Giamatti movies. And yeah, Chris, how's it going?
Doing good. Love Paul Giamatti a lot after he had many great movies on his list. I forgot how much I've seen of him. So happy to be talking about one really good actor on generation.
Also here we've got Chad. Chad, how's it going?
It's going great. Paul Giamatti is one of those actors that I've seen in a lot of movies, and then I just kind of like forget about him sometimes. And then I have a show like this, and then I'm like, wow, I've been sleeping on Paul Giamatti, and I've been trying to watch a lot more of his movies. I wish I could have watched even more, but I'll get there.
We've also got JPO here. JPO, how's it going?
Hey, doing just wonderful. Yeah, I love Paul Giamatti. I've been a big fan of his back when he was kind of a supporting cat, and I've always thought he could be a leading man, and we're still seeing him do that still to this day. So you're very excited for this episode. I didn't want to miss out on Giamatti.
And Steven, how's it going?
It's going well. Yeah, I looked at his filmography and like he's done a lot of movies I love, but I don't really remember him in them.
But yeah, how this is going to work is we're each going to nominate a Paul Giamatti movie I think belongs on a top 12 list, and then everyone else says yes or no to it, and if it gets the majority of yeses, it will make the list. But Christy, go to you first. What is the first movie you're going to bring up?
So I do it in honor of my dad here because he loved this movie. I do love this movie as well. I'm going with Bonnie Vision. Him, Dustin Hoffman, Rosamund Pike, Minnie Driver. This is a really good street movie with him. Dustin Hoffman, fantastic dad. Rosamund Pike, really good. Like a marriage with 3 different women, and a really sweet movie. You have probably one of his best performances I ever seen him give anything. So in honor of my dad, I will bring up his favorite Paul Giamatti movie.
What movie was that? Sorry,
Barney's version.
Barney's version. Chad, what do you say about Barney's version?
This unfortunately, this is the first I'm hearing that movie exists, so I can't say anything about it, unfortunately.
JPO, what do you say about Barney's version?
An absolute yes. Also, in honor of Chris's dad, I was probably going to bring this up early. Sorry. I love this movie, man. I'm going to be actually kind of upset if this doesn't get on because this absolutely belongs on this list here. He is front and center as a guy who literally on his wedding day falls in love with somebody else. As he's marrying Minnie Driver, he falls in love with Rosamund Pike. And again, the way Giamatti makes it work, you don't hate the guy. You can kind of see what's going on. There's some really heartbreaking moments later on with Dustin Hoffman, with him trying to, convince the wife to give him another chance, Rosamund Pike. Yeah, this definitely belongs there. I really hope one of you two have seen it.
Stephen, what do you say about Barney's version?
It was on my list of movies to watch because I did see JPO's list that he did of Paul Giamatti, and it was pretty high, I know, on his
It's
list.
in my top 3.
I did get to see sort of one movie, but this wasn't one. This wasn't it, unfortunately.
This wasn't the sort of.
Yeah, unfortunately, I also didn't.
Fuck, people! We're on. Why are you on this episode? Jesus!
Well, I'm on this because I'm the host. But
You have an excuse. I hate you right now.
No,
it's not as bad as the Meryl Streep one when nobody saw Sophie's Choice.
No. Meryl Streep is the lead in like 90,000 movies. Giamatti's got how many leads? You should have watched them, especially one of the best ones for this episode. You disappoint me. Go to your
like for me, part of the reason I didn't get around to seeing it is like there's a few other bigger ones that I also hadn't seen that.
Yeah,
I watched
name them. Name them, Malcolm. Name them.
I mean, I watched two,
they're bound to come. They're bound to come up. They're bound to come up.
I'll fight you later. Plus, you have an excuse.
But unfortunately, Barney's version is not going to make this list. Chad,
yeah, fuck Chris.
Chad was the first movie you're going to bring up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up one that I don't know how beloved or seen this one is amongst the populace, but I'm gonna bring it up front as my first one because we don't have anything on the list yet. So maybe this is like the time to get it on. But I'm going to bring up something from my childhood that I love. Big Fat Liar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's just me and Chris. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I think Big Fat Liar is a really fun like kids movie. It stars Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes. And they're trying to get like a movie made or something like that. I just remember it being really, really, really fun, and I've been meaning to actually rewatch it. I wanted to for this, but I just didn't get around to it. But Paul Giamatti specifically plays a really fun villain. He's just kind of like a big like Hollywood producer asshole guy. I just think he does that really, really well in the movie. And specifically the scene where they basically pollute his pool with like blue dye. So he dives into the pool, dancing to Hungry Like the Wolf. And then he comes out of the pool and he's all blue. And it's just like really incredible. That's like when I think of Paul Giamatti, this is the thing that I think about because that's one of the first things I saw that he was in. And so it's just influenced him, influenced my image of him, throughout the years. So, I wanted to bring this one up because I think it's actually a pretty sweet, fun kids movie that I love. So Big Fat Liar.
JPO, what do you say about Big Fat Liar?
I was so prepared to spite vote no matter what Chad said. But unfortunately, he picked one that I also really want on this list, which is Big Fat Liar. No, I'm right in the same vein. It came out at the right time for me. I love this movie here. Kind of the first semi-leading role almost, kind of technically Frankie Muniz, but like he is the main villain in here. And again, so good. And even after I love the twist of the blue, he makes it work for his character somehow. And again, another reason why I love him as an actor, because you can love him, hate him, fear him. He is such a great shit stirrer villain here. He takes the credit for Muniz's script here, and you're so ready for him to get his comeuppance at the end of the film here. And there's some good laughs before then. So yeah, this was on my list. So yes. I'll spite vote no next time.
Stephen, what do you say about Big Fat Liar?
I mean, it should be obvious what I'm gonna say since look at my name. Yeah, I mean, I won't say it's probably my second or third favorite movie of his and performance of his, just because it's not the best movie that he's done, but obviously, but it's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun, so it's definitely a yes.
And yeah, I love Big Fat Liar a lot. Like this is one I actually rewatched for. This is one I actually rewatched for this because I completely forgot he was in this. So I was like, I haven't seen this in ages. I've got an excuse to rewatch this now.
Did you love it before you rewatched it too?
Yeah, I mean it's just one of those.
You didn't need to rewatch it. You should have been watching Marty's version. You need to rewatch a movie you've seen already. Watch Marty's version. All right, continue.
I mean I couldn't find it's not streaming anywhere for me, and just says that it really isn't.
You should have messaged me a month ago. I would have shipped you my DVD. I don't have no DVD.
Anyway, yeah, so it's an easy yes for me for Big Fat Liar. So yeah, Chris, what do you say about Big Fat Liar?
Yeah, I love this movie. This definitely would have been one of my guilty pleasure hits to bring up. This is film I saw whenever very young. It's such an insane movie. And Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes really great. The whole cast is really fun, and it's some really fun cameos here and there for people in it. So yeah, huge yes for me.
If that Big Fat Liar makes the list, JPO, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
All right, always when we do these shows, there's always different ways people view things. So I'm just gonna see, shoot my shot here because again, if we're just simply going by his movies, and he's good in the role that he's given here, but it's definitely a smaller role. Still one of his best movies because it's one of the greatest movies to me. Truman Show, I like to nominate here. Again, just depends on how you view things. So I think if you just go by his movies, this is easily in the top 12. So yeah, Truman Show, still a movie that actually holds up as far as even the ideology of it, as to where we've gone with reality TV and everything here, and another beautiful, crazy tale.
Stephen, what do you say about the Truman Show?
Yeah, we're going strictly by the movies. This is his second best movie that he's in. I mean, the movie that I think is his best movie is another very tiny part. But yeah, I'll give this a yes. It won my. It won the. Was it the top 64? I think for me originally in tournament fights. So
maybe.
It won one.
But so that's a yes for you, Stephen.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is tough for me because, and people are going to say yes or no for their own reasons. And that's fine. I love the Truman Show. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But it's one of those ones when I was looking, I was like, I don't remember him being in this movie. But he was and he was one of the control room directors in the movie just for Dan's film. So I actually just looked it up as well.
I know I was kind of leaning with that with my premises.
But yeah, I love the movie just because he's a very small role, and I think there's some other ones he's got a bigger part in that I think should make this list. I'm gonna say no, but Chris, what do you say about the Truman Show?
I'm back and forth with it because the other movie I might be up to, I have a small role. I have right next to me for one of them. And I think from what I remember Truman Show, he's really good in it. I do leave it up to Chad. I do say no because he did other better smaller role he had where he does be a little bit more impact.
Which means Chad, it comes down to you. What do you say about
I had your back from Barney's, damn, but Chris.
So here's my difficult position now, because Jordan's apparently already mad at me because I haven't seen a movie. So now,
Listen to your heart. I'll be less mad at this one, but it is called movies. It's not called performances. That's all I'm saying.
I understand, but like here's
We should set a
thing.
precedent then to not even bother
There
with
should
small
be,
performances.
and it's one of those things where it makes it really hard when we do actors.
Here's my argument. Let it in, and then let's make it like number 12.
Is there? Let me ask you: is there like a really like specifically good scene? Because there's
remember when he stabs Truman in the ocean?
That's not real, right?
Yeah.
No, but I was specifically watching Truman Show again for this because I was like, that's a great movie.
We know.
Let me check it out. And then, I just like the first like 40 minutes of it or something. I don't even remember seeing them at all.
Last 40 minutes.
So I just don't think I can honestly say yes to this just because I do think if it's Jim Carrey movies, if it's just, greats, who directed it?
Ed Harris, Rancoms.
If it's weird movies, for sure, but, or any of the actors, maybe just not Paul Giamatti because he's kind of like a background guy in it.
Rankum, top 12 Noah Emmerich films. Yeah.
I'll give it a slight no, unfortunately, although, I'd love to see it on most lists.
You want to get back to me later on. We understand why there are another movies with that one small thing.
Well, don't worry, Chris. I'm going to spite vote no because I hate you right now.
Stephen, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
I'll bring up the movie that he should have been Oscar nominated for, but wasn't, and that is my favorite movie from Alexander Payne, Sideways. There's some very funny moments. His character is suffering from a midlife crisis and sparks up. I love the chemistry between him and Thomas Hayden Church, and also him and Virginia Madsen. And it was in my top 128, and I absolutely love this movie. So, Sideways.
Dan, we're only we're only about four picks in. It's not
round
like
one. Dan, calm down. Although I wish you were here, Dan, because Dan probably saw Barney's version. All right, and then by the way, I swear I won't bring it up.
Sure.
I have milked that cow dry.
But you are correct, JPO, because he put this in earlier.
See, Dan, why weren't you here, you son of a bitch?
Anyway, Sideways was one of the movies I actually watched for this because I'd never seen it before. So I finally got around to watching it. This was a really good movie. It's an easy yes for me. But Chris, what do you say about Sideways?
So this is one or two movies I watched for this because I've never seen Sideways, but I love Alexander Payne. I'm used to talk about another movie here. I'd love to bring up. But a film I think the performance great. Just the character of unlikable at times, and that really threw me off watching the movie. I had to finish watching it. I am almost halfway into it, but I really like what I've seen so far. I get a slight yes, and not my favorite is just because I find him and Thomas Hayden Church really unlikable, just bad in the movie. And it's hard to root for a character that you don't like, but the movie is good overall despite that. So yes to me.
Chad, what do you say about Sideways? I also love the movie that Chris referenced there, but it's a big blind spot for me. Sideways. The thing about it is, though, I've heard about it a lot, and I am going to get to Barney's version. I'm probably going to buy it on Blu-ray, and I've already bought Sideways on Blu-ray. It just hasn't got here yet. I was hoping that it would get here sooner so I could just watch it, but I'm gonna watch it after this, and so I'm definitely gonna at least give it a blind yes, anyways, just because I've just heard so many great things about it, and I think it's.
Now you're giving blind guesses? Okay, I know I said I was going to
but here's the
this
thing.
is your fault for bringing it back up. Blind yes now.
I know I gave you that in, But here's the thing, though. The reason why I'm giving a blind yes is because I am also a very big fan of Alexander Payne. And, so I'm pretty sure it's
not
going
a
to
fan
be
of Dustin Hoffman.
a movie I like. I do like Dustin Hoffman. Wait, did they
Minnie
direct
Driver? No, but I forgot who directed it. But still.
But anyways, yeah. So I'll give it a blind yes because I'm so excited to watch it.
Anyway, JP, what do you say about Cyberface?
I really wanted Spiteful, but of course it belongs here. No, I think he's the best part of this movie here. I think it was an absolute tragedy that I like Church, but believe me, this is Giamatti's movie. That's just one of those weird, like, I don't know, people assume he'd get nominations and no one voted for him. I don't know how that weird shit happens. No, it absolutely belongs here. So yes.
But so Sideways is going to make the list, and it comes on to me. I'm going to bring up something which I also watched for the first time for this, just because it was one of the only sort of movies that they had in my library, and I'm not going to be upset if this doesn't make the list or not, but I'm bringing up Gunpowder Milkshake because I think this is just a really fun, badass action movie that came out a couple of years ago, and I think Giamatti is great as the douchebag villain in this. It's definitely not a big role, but I think it's a lot of fun, and just him being a villain and getting brutally murdered, I think is a lot of fun. But yeah, Chris, what do you say about Gunpowder Milkshake?
This was not the action movie I thought you were going to bring up there for a moment. I had not seen Gunpowder Milkshake. I would like there were a bunch of movies here that I haven't seen that one of them, but I just didn't have time to check out. I chose the one that I know people have been recommending me over that. But it's like no for me.
But Chad, what do you say about Gunpowder Milkshake?
I feel like this is one of those Netflix movies that just dropped on there.
It did.
And then I went this sounds kind of interesting. It's an interesting title. And I started it and then it just it wasn't hooking me in. So I just never finished it, unfortunately. So I just don't know much about it. So I can't say anything about it. I'd say no, I guess, or abstain.
JPO, what do you say about Gunpowder Milkshake?
All right. Okay. Now this is the last I'll bring up Barney's version. So I looked up the director. Didn't help me out my case because the only other movies he made is something called Whale Music, and he did the K9 PI direct-to-video sequel with Jim Belushi. So I'd never made a movie since Barney's version. So I don't know what happened because Barney's version is really good. He did a lot of TV though. He did Westworld and other things. Anywho, as for this, it's in that Netflix vein of it was fine. One-time watch, kind of forgotten. It's not even in my top 25 or 30, I think, for Giamatti. So no.
Stephen, what do you say about Gunpowder Milkshake?
I haven't seen it. I did see the trailer. It kind of looks like from the trailer that he's essentially playing the same character he played in Shoot 'Em Up.
And that's the one I thought you were referencing there, Fred.
This is gonna be the longest episode. We're not agreeing on shit tonight.
Chris, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
So I'm going to bring out another Paul Giamatti movie I love. Directed by the good same guy who did Spotlight. And there you go with Win-Win. With him, Bobby Cannavale, Amy Ryan, a very good movie. Vinny also played kind of asshole in it, but his bond with the kid and his friend with Bobby Cannavale, really good wrestling stuff, really good, very funny street movie by Todd McCarthy. And my personal favorite here besides Spotlight. So yeah, Win-Win.
Chad, what do you say about Win-Win?
It's one I really want to watch, but I haven't seen it. Sorry. I know. Hopefully I won't say that as many times as you think I will, but maybe. We'll see.
JPO, what do you say about Win-Win?
Well, once again, I'm gonna have Chris's back here and really hope that Marty and Wilford Malcolm have seen it because it definitely belongs on the list. No, it's a good film. It's a smaller film from McCarthy here. Also, as a former amateur wrestler, I love some connections to that. I think the kid's pretty good in it. So yeah, it's a big yes for me as well.
Stephen, have you seen Win Win?
I have. Not since it was in
Oh
theaters, but
no.
I have seen it. Um, I like the movie. It wouldn't make my top 12 to be honest,
Fuck.
but but I will give it a slight yes, just because I think some of these other movies he has smaller parts in. So and this he's the lead here, so I'll give it a slight yes. It's pretty good.
Um,
It's not like I'm saying yes to a mediocre movie. I mean, it's good. It's I just wasn't wowed by it.
um, but even if you said no, I've also seen it because I watched it for whatever letter series it would have been in. But
In
yeah,
2013, I think.
yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed Win Win. Like probably not as much as some people, but I still enjoy it enough to like. It still kind of fell in the area where I was going to say yes to anyway. So yeah, it's a yes to Win Win for me. And yeah, so it's going to make the list. And we go back to Chad.
Yes. My next nomination is a movie that I really adore because I'm a big music fan, but also a big fan of his Paul's performance in this. Love and Mercy, one of my big films that I saw that I slept on for a long time, and then finally someone said this is a great movie. I checked it out and I was like, holy shit, I love this because I love the Beach Boys. Pet Sounds is one of the best albums ever made, and yeah, I also love Paul Dano, John Cusack, both playing Brian Wilson, and I just love how it's just a really well made good biopic. And Paul Giamatti plays a kind of a piece of shit in the movie, and he does a great job. Over this whole thing, trying to watch more movies with Paul Giamatti and for Rankum, I'm like, wow, he can play just a really sweet guy, but then he can also play a piece of shit. He's that in this, and I think he's really good at it. But yeah, it's just a really good movie. If you love music, if you love biopics, if you want to learn more about Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys, it's really good. And the dual performance from John and Paul Dano, not Giamatti, is just really cool. The way they did that. So, Love and Mercy is amazing.
JPO, what do you say about Love and Mercy?
No, absolutely yes, big yes for me. We mentioned before I'm playing such a fun heel and Big Fat Liar. This is the that other end of the spectrum where he's an absolute heel and you're just yelling at the screen because of the way he's kind of taking advantage of Cusack's character and whatnot. And yeah, again, really great performance here. He absolutely nails it. Plus, it's a really good movie on top of that. So yeah, big yes.
Stephen, what do you say about Love and Mercy?
Unfortunately, this is one I haven't seen.
You will love it. It's so good.
If I hadn't had to work today, I would have seen it because it was on my list. Because I had a list of a few movies that I haven't seen that I would have seen today if I didn't have to work.
But yeah, with I love Love and Mercy. I think it's a really good movie. And yeah, it's one of those interesting biopics where they kind of take aspects, do a dual flashbacky type thing, and show both ends of the spectrum in that same movie with Paul Dano and that. And yeah, I believe it made the Paul Dano list, so it's also going to make this one. So it's a yes for me. But Chris, what do you say about Love and Mercy?
I love this movie. Not being the last movie to feature him play asshole in it. Yeah, I love this movie. This came out right when I was working at the movie theater my first year. I love it. I think it's amazing. Paul Dano, amazing. Paul Giamatti, amazing. Frank Cusack is amazing. It should have got some love at the Oscar. I feel for Paul Dano, especially. Like, yeah, great movie. Great biopic, great story, great performance all around. This is one of my favorite biopics the last couple of years. So yeah.
That Love and Mercy is going to make the list. And we go back to JPO.
All right, so if we go by quality of movie, there's a certain one I should mention, but I want to actually get a yes for once. So I'm going to go with, he's a co-star in this, but he's one of the higher co-stars. Man on the Moon, I like to shoot my shot for. Jim Carrey biopic of Andy Kaufman. Tremendously unique tale. Carrey truly gets lost in the role to the point of annoyance. If you ever see that documentary, Jim and Andy, even to like people like Jerry Lawler, who was like, but in real life, we were in on it together. Why are you being a date to me? But that's besides the point. Movie's really great here. Giamatti's really good in another really good co-starring role as well as I think it was Muda. So Man on the Moon is my nomination here.
Stephen, what do you say about Man on the Moon?
I absolutely love the movie. It's definitely would be on a list of favorite movies that he's been in. Gotta be honest though, I don't.
That's
know
what
if
we're
I
doing.
I know. I gotta be honest though, I don't really remember him in it. But I'll still say yes. But I'll still say yes because I do love the movie a lot, and I think I still think it's Jim Carrey's best performance.
Yeah, this has been one of the movies for the longest time I've been trying to track down to watch, but once again, I just hadn't got around to seeing it. But Chris, what do you say about Man on the Moon?
I also had not got around to seeing this in my biggest Jim Carrey blind spot here. Until I hear so many crazy things from people about it that I want to check out. There's so many movies to watch, and this is on my blind spot for both Carrey and
Yeah,
Paul
that's
Giamatti.
Muda. I think it's Bob's Muda though, but yeah.
Yeah.
Chad, will you be my hero? Oh, he's not gonna be my hero. Fuck.
I was waiting for Malcolm to throw it over, but unfortunately, I'm just actually playing. No, I'm gonna make Jordan happy here. I'm gonna say yes to Man on the Moon.
What a twist!
I actually do remember him in this one. I think he plays. I mean, it's a supporting, obviously, but I think it's a really big part. Okay.
Oh God, paranormal activity. Chad.
I don't know what happened there. I do think it's a fairly big part, but yeah, and I don't remember if I like love the movie necessarily, but I do think it's a very good acting movie. I think Jim Carrey is great in it. I love Andy Kaufman as like just a very interesting person. And it's also a very sad movie, but funny. You know, if you like his kind of comedy, so it's a good movie, and I think Paul plays a really good supporting performance in it. So yes.
But that Man on the Moon is going to make the list. And Stephen, we go to you for your next nomination.
I'll go with the movie, what I think is the best movie that he's done. Although, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Malcolm disagrees with this. Because I'm pretty sure you've said that you think it's overrated. But it's not a big part, but of course, it's a masterpiece. And of course, it's Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I don't like this movie as much as other people. I never used the word overrated, so I've never called it overrated.
Well, you did just now. In a way. You just said you don't like it as much as other people.
Well, I mean,
overrated.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a no. Chris, what do you say about Saving Private Ryan?
That made no sense. Everything you just said made no sense.
I try to remember who he played in Saving Private Ryan. Like this is the thing. Like, I
One of the
remember
people
one.
they
It's like
one of the people,
some
yeah.
soldier that
Yeah.
comes out of the wall or whatever.
He
at
definitely
one
has a
point.
scene. Like he definitely has like monologue and like it's like Ted Danson and shit. Like he's in like one solid scene.
Yeah, because I kind of remember it. Like I love Saving Private Ryan. Don't get me wrong. I saw it for the first time during the pandemic, and I loved it to death. I would say yes because don't say yes to that. You might get me Chevrolet off my pick for a small thing here, and a really great movie.
Oh, now we're accepting small roles. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Chad, what do you say about Saving
Yeah, I
Private
said
Ryan?
yes to Truman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
This one's another interesting one because I remember his part in it, and from what I remember, it is very, very small. I think like the screen time is probably like not even 5 minutes or something like that. But I mean, it's kind of like a very similar amount of screen time that Vin Diesel has in the movie too. So if you forgot that Vin Diesel's in the movie,
And Nathan Fillion and so
I
many
think Vin
people.
Diesel probably got
right,
a little bit more.
right.
Mhm.
But
Vin Diesel's one of the group members at least.
yeah. But yeah, he does have a bigger part than Giamatti. So for a Giamatti list specifically, I'd say no. But also, I'm kind of on Malcolm's wavelength. I kind of like went down on this movie quite a bit. Although there are big parts I like. If this were a Giovanni Ribisi list, yeah, I would say absolutely.
What an odd shout out of all the actors.
He's my favorite part of the
We're
movie.
doing Adam Goldberg list? Come on.
Yeah, that's another one but I don't know if we'd ever do that list.
We should.
But
Dude, I'm gonna do it on my channel.
Giovanni Ribisi would be hard to make a list.
Summary Austin is cringing is like, no, I'm not going to do that Giovanni Ribisi list.
I think if this were like a war movie list too, like I could see it, but because I also have a little bit of a lower, thought about this movie. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but I do think it is great in certain ways. My thoughts on it are complicated, but I'll say no for the Paul Giamatti list specifically.
But JPO, it comes down to you. What do you say about Saving Private Ryan?
I mean, yeah, I go by he's credited, he's got a character name, he's in it enough, and yeah, I go by movie. So I'm gonna say yes. Because I think it is easily in the top 5 of his movies.
That Saving Private Ryan does make the list of it go back to me. Yeah, so for my next one, I'm going to like he's in a few biopics that like he's done a lot of real life stories and biopics and stuff like that, but I'm gonna go for Straight Outta Compton. I think he's great. I mean I think he's great as Jerry Heller in this movie, and I think once again another one of those characters which you just really don't like because he's a really dick of a manager, but I think he's really great in the role, and I think and I think and honestly I would argue that he probably should have been nominated for an Oscar for his role in this as well, because I think he's that good in the movie. But Chris, what do you say about Straight Outta Compton?
You picked my next pick. I love this movie. I think he's phenomenal, really good in this movie, along with so many other great performances. I think he played the manager role really decently well. He does a great job being someone you like at first, and you just hate him to the end when you find out more about what he's done behind their back. But yeah, get yes for me. This is not much of like Love and Mercy, but this is probably my third or fourth favorite biopic.
But Chad, what do you say about Straight Outta Compton?
Straight Outta Compton, the album, great album, love it. I have it on vinyl. But the movie, yes, I also really like that movie. I do think it's a very good one. And yeah, I think he plays a similar role that he does in Man on the Moon. So and I also just think he's really good as that kind of character. So yeah, I could easily see this being a top 12 Giamatti movie. So I'll say yes.
Don't know if JPO's there, so I'll go to Stephen first. Stephen, what do you say about Straight Outta Compton?
This is unfortunately a huge blind spot for me. I still need to see it.
Well, I think at this point it's still going to make the list regardless of what JPO says, but we can, once he returns, we can get his take on that. Chris, we'll go back to you for your next nomination.
I'm between two, but I do shoot my shot for a movie I just watched today. I've watched it based on a lot of people's recommendation. I got with American Splendor, the movie where he is about to realize commerce. I forget the guy name of it, Harvey Pecker. I think this is the performance for Paul Giamatti. We're really impressed by. He especially his voice is he played just a character that you find a little disgusting way, but you also sympathize with him. I think he played it very well. I think his comedy bit, like the back and forth between him, then the actor that the movie based about, like the writer himself, Harvey Pecker, the back and forth, the humor, the character really well likable. I think that's a very unique Paul Giamatti movie. Not a lot of people have seen, but I do recommend it. Really was a nice surprise for me. I'm happy I checked out based on people's recommendation. And I really do love this movie. That's definitely my top 5 or 6 favorite Paul Giamatti movie.
Chad, what are your thoughts about American Splendor?
This one is a very interesting movie. I finally did get around to this recently as part of a movie club that I'm a part of, I like the style of it, but also like you get the unique like perspective of seeing Giamatti play a real life guy, but then also alongside almost the real life guy. You get actual scenes between Paul Giamatti playing the guy and the guy himself, the real life person, on the same screen, and so you get to see them side by side. And I just think it's a really good. He has to kind of like contemplate like having cancer and stuff like that. If I'm remembering correctly, and
Oh my god, that scene at the doctor when they checking him out, they got like, oh
yeah. So he's got a lot of really good moments in it, and you're just a really unique performance from him. So yeah, I really dug this one. So I'll say yes for sure.
JPO, what are your thoughts what are your thoughts for both Straight Outta Compton and American Splendor?
Excuse me. But yes, to both. Yeah, so I'm happy to see Compton's made it. I figured it would. I mean, I think that's just a fun flick, easy for you to digest, and again, another good performance by Giamatti. Kind of almost playing like Love and Mercy, maybe slightly turned down. And then for American Splendor 2, kind of the OG, where you really see him, lead performance too as well. Like, he's front and center in the poster, and he's the number one guy. And again, really kind of shows like this guy can lead. It's also a unique movie, as you guys kind of mentioned. There's some side by side stuff, some unique stuff about it too. So it's an interesting watch. I think more people should see if you haven't. So yeah, but yes.
Stephen, what do you say about American Splendor?
This is the movie that I said I sort of saw because I was starting to watch it last night, but it was like 2:00 in the morning. I fell asleep. I still watched enough of it that I will still give this a yes, and I'm eager to finish it because it seemed like a really enjoyable movie. Paul Giamatti's great in it. So is Hope Davis. So yeah, I didn't get to finish it, but I definitely look forward to finishing it.
This is one that I've heard a lot about. Just haven't got around to seeing it. This is one that I tried to find some people just couldn't find it. I couldn't find good legally download one to watch. Not that I support it, but I watch it if I'm desperate enough to it. But Yeah, but it's going to make the list regardless.
You guys heard
and
him? Swarm, swarm. We got Malcolm on tape saying he steals. Swarm, swarm.
I mean, I've said it a few other times. So, but that we
Multiple
go
counts. We got him on multiple charges. Multiple charges. Swarm.
Is Max available on in New Zealand?
No. But the American Splendor is going to make the list. And
We
we
have
go
push
to
more
Chad for
spot.
his next nomination.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna bring up another Netflix movie. I believe this is a Netflix movie. But I did get around to watching this one because a friend recommended it when they heard that I was ranking Paul Giamatti movies, and I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was pretty great. And it's weird that it didn't, like, I guess it wasn't really seen all that much, so maybe it won't have been seen here a lot. But I was going to think like maybe this could have gotten some nominations. But it's Private Life. So this movie I'm bringing up because I thought it was particularly pretty great. If you haven't seen it, it's Paul Giamatti and Catherine Hahn together, and they're trying to have a baby. But they are both having kind of issues for different reasons. They can't actually conceive naturally, so they did something that I did recently, and they considered IVF. So for me, it was kind of like a bit of a personal movie as well, because I relate to it a little bit. Although it's a little bit more of a sad movie for them and stuff. So I don't know. I could see it also being kind of like a horror movie in some ways, because it's like life sucks sometimes and you just can't, try everything, you can, and it may or may not happen. And that sometimes that's life. But particularly I thought Paul Giamatti and Catherine Hahn were just both great in this movie, acting as this like desperate couple, trying to figure out if they even want kids after trying all this stuff and nothing's really working for them. But yeah, I thought it was really great. It's fairly recent too, 2018. So if no one's seen it on here, hopefully that'll inspire people to check it out. Private Life.
Oh, I actually had my mic muted that time. JP, what do you say about Private Life?
Haven't seen it, so we're even now.
Stephen, what do you say about Private Life?
This was another movie that like Straight Outta Compton. This was on my list of movies to watch, but just didn't get to it.
Yeah, this was one of the many movies I could actually get to that I had available to me to watch. But I'm actually going to say no. Like, I thought this was fine, like decent, but it's not in my sort of top 20 Giamatti movies. But yeah, so it's a no for me. But Chris, what do you say about Private Life?
Yeah, sadly, I have not seen it. I heard about it. I loved the director. She did Savages, Red Love with Phyllis Seymour Hoffman. But it's on my on my next to watch after I rated American Splendor, so didn't have time to get to it.
But with that, we're going to go back to JPO. What was the next movie you're going to bring up?
Oh snap! It's me. I wasn't prepared. Okay. 12 Years a Slave. Oscar nominated, Oscar winner actually for Best Picture. Chris is holding it, so I think he was ready that this might come up. And another man, Paul Giamatti, you're so lovable. You love playing shit people, don't you? Shitty people. And he's got some scenes in there that really make you angry at him, but it adds very much to the journey of Tutel Ejiofor, who gives a fantastic performance. And 12 Years a Slave.
I don't know where Steven's gone, but But
Blown out a hot pocket.
Stephen, what do you say about 12 Years a Slave?
It's a great movie. It's not really one that I immediately think of with Paul Giamatti, but it is a great movie, so I'll say yes.
Giamatti plays John Tibbets. So yeah, John Tibbets. But yeah, I like 12 Years a Slave. I think it's great, and yeah, so I'm going to say yes to 12 Years a Slave. Chris, what do you say about 12 Years a Slave?
That was a small role I would have said yes to. He not in it a lot, but this scene is really important. He gave Chad for his slave name. This scene is very despicable scene, especially when talking to the kid during the whole leg up scene, like keep money into place and all that. It just a great despicable performance for Paul Giamatti. So yes for me.
And Chad, what do you say about 12 Years a Slave?
Yeah, this one is another one that I'm going to say yes to as well, even though it's a small part. And I think it's because like I specifically remember his scene, unless unless I'm mixing it up with another scene. I believe this is the one where Chiwetel Ejiofor's character is first sold into slavery.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to Paul Giamatti, and I think he asks him a question. And at first, you might think that Paul would be a good character, like a good guy or whatever, and then he immediately starts to just this is I think the wake up call that he's in like this whole he's in for like a lot of shit. And yeah, this is one of the most depressing movies you could ever watch, but hey, our history is depressing, so I think it's very good. It wasn't my best picture winner that year, but it was up there. It was up there in like the top 3, I think. So I do think it's a very good movie, just very hard to watch. But I do specifically remember his part, and I think it was really great. So yes.
Yeah, he was also checking all of them, making sure how well fit they are to be sold, and they're pretty despicable.
And JPO, what do you say about 12 Years a Slave?
He brought up.
But 12 Years a Slave is going to make the list.
Weirdly enough, I say no. Yeah, is that weird?
But Stephen, what is the next movie we're going to bring up?
We only have 3 spots left, so I have to decide. I'm deciding between 2. I think I'll go with this one because I think it's a little bit better of a movie, even though I think the other one might actually be a more fun role from him. And that is the movie that actually got him, I believe, his first Oscar nomination, and that's Cinderella Man. He's kind of like the Burgess Meredith type character in this to Russell Crowe's character. And other than Rocky, this might be my favorite boxing movie of all time. I absolutely love it. And it's probably it's between this and Apollo 13 as my favorite Ron Howard movie.
This time, Dan, I'll pick you.
Yeah, that would have been my next pick too. If it got to me.
I mean, it would have been my next pick too. Yeah, I mean, I like Cinderella Man. I think it's good. And yeah, it's Paul Giamatti is great in the movie. And yeah, it would have been yes for me. So, Chris, what do you say about Cinderella Man?
Yeah, this is easy yes for me. I love this movie. I think it was so fantastic. I think Paul Giamatti gives such a good performance in this movie, especially thing with Bo at the boxing arena outside West family, everything. This huge yes for me. He deserved the Oscar nomination that year for this.
But Chad, what do you say about Cinderella Man?
Yeah, after I brought up Private Life, I was scrolling through his filmography again, and I went like, "Shit, I should have brought up Cinderella Man." I hope someone else does. So I'm so glad Steven did, because I watched this specifically for this, and it's just been a blind spot for so long, and then I was like, I'm gonna watch Cinderella Man. I've heard good things about it, and I think that is my favorite Ron Howard movie. I wasn't like
You
hooked
guys
from
don't
the
love the dilemma with Vince Vaughn and Kevin James?
Get that.
I wasn't very hooked
I
on
actually
Cinderella
do
Man
like that.
from the beginning, but as soon as I did get hooked in, I was like, holy shit, I love what it's saying about like rich versus poor, and it's just a really good movie about the what is it called, the Great Depression. And yeah, it's just a really good boxing movie. I think the boxing in it, it's not like the main focus, but like, I love like when they're like, this guy, he's killed people with like one punch and stuff, and he's like, I'd have just as much a chance of dying of cold or going to work at these jobs that I have to work. And so I'm kind of lucky here. So I don't know. I just love the messaging in the movie, the acting. Renee Zellweger is also really, really fantastic in it. But Paul Giamatti, yeah, you brought up Rocky. I think he plays another great boxing coach, like the actor from Rocky. And yeah, it's just like, I just love like, yeah, seeing him like, screaming at him from the sidelines and stuff like that. So and just like being that like voice, but also his character was really cool too, because he's like, he believed in this guy so much that he's like, I'm selling everything to get this guy, fights and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, he's just a great character, great performance, great movie. Love it. Yes.
And JPO, what do you say about Cinderella Man?
No, big yes for me as well here. I mean, as
Should've
you
gone
mentioned,
with the other one though, because you guys all.
all right then. Yeah, big yes for me. As you said, he got nominated finally, but let's be honest, he was so snubbed for Sideways. He could have been in Chicken Little too, and they probably still would have nominated him. But he is very deserving of here as well. He perfectly fits it here. We talked so much about him being, such a good shitty bad guy. Now he's able to kind of, in a way, kind of be the inspiration to a degree in this, along with Russell Crowe. It's a perfect two-hander. It's a really well shot film as well. Ron Howard shot this pretty well. Whoever cinematographer is, give him credit as well. So yeah, this belongs there. Yes.
But yeah, it's on. Cinderella Man's going to make the list. It's on to me for my next one, and yeah, for my next book, I'm going to bring up one of his other movies that has the word "saving" in it, and it's Saving Mr. Banks. And he plays Ralph, which is P.L. Travis's chauffeur in the movie. And yeah, it's a small role, but I think he's really good in the role, and it's one of those ones that I think he's one of these ones that I think he's one of these performances I think is great in the movie. So yeah, Chris, what do you say about Saving Mr. Banks?
That was my next pick. I love this movie. A movie I think that should be a lot more often. I think it's full of great performance. I think Giamatti is really good in the movie. I love his back and forth with him and Emma Thompson. Like, some of my favorite scenes are just the two of them hanging out. Colin Farrell, amazing performance for him. Tom Hanks, great performance. Emma Thompson, great performance. Paul Giamatti is such a small role, but he's such a good, kind-hearted person in the movie that you like him. Like, he just likable person in the movie that you just like spending time with him whenever he pop up. So yeah, huge yes for me.
Chad, what do you say about Saving Mr. Banks?
This is another one that I did get around to watching for this that I liked. I do think it's a little bit of a cynical movie, because I feel like it did not go down the way it did, and even then, it's like, I feel like it's kind of one of those things where it's like, the whole message of the movie is that she should get over her issues so that she could sell her thing to a big corporation that's going to end up owning us all. I don't know. It's an interesting movie. Yeah, I know. It's an interesting take, right? But I do think if you're not looking at it that way, it is a well-made movie. I like a lot of it, actually. And Paul Giamatti, I think, is incredible in it. He's such a sweet little role that keeps popping up throughout the movie. In fact, so I'll do a little bit of a spoiler alert for this. It's not like a really big spoiler or anything, but I kind of wished at the end, because he has a whole thing about his daughter is in a wheelchair, and she, Emma Thompson signs her book, her Mary Poppins book and stuff like that. I kind of wish he would have been invited with her daughter to the premiere. And I'm like, why couldn't you make that a sweet moment in the movie? That could have been really sweet to see him with his daughter at the thing, because he made such an influence on her life. And like, she even said, like, you're my favorite American that I've met. So yeah, I think Paul Giamatti's really great as the Ralph, the limo driver, who's a very sweet guy. So I'll say yes, specifically for Paul Giamatti, but I also do think it's worth the watch, especially if you love Mary Poppins.
But JPO, what do you say about Saving Mr. Banks?
I actually would have said a slight no. I was kind of on the fence, like along with Chad here. I just think there's things that I like actually above it by a few spots, but not too far down where I'm too mad that it's on the list here, because there's a lot of good stuff about it, including the side performances from like him and Schwartzman and everybody. So I'm cool with it.
And Stephen, what would you have said about Saving Mr. Banks?
There are a couple movies that I would like, just because I think they're more memorable roles for Giamatti, but I probably would have said yes, because this is probably a slightly better movie than the two that I'm thinking of. So I probably would have said yes.
Saving Mr. Banks is going to make the list. We've got one spot left. Chris, we go to you. What is the next movie going to bring up?
I know Chad and much of it like to bring up what we want to bring up. I know we're the only two who've seen it. So I had to go with the other one. I think go with a movie that I think he has a very small one, but he plays such a turncoat in a way in the movie where he's playing for both sides and he's turning people against each other. I'm going with the Ida March, the George Clooney movie. I think he plays just another despicable human being, but he played both sides really well, turning Ryan Gosling against George Clooney and doing both sides in a way that worked for his benefit with the campaign. And I think his scene is really good in the movie. Like every performance in the movie really good. Him, Philip Hoffman, George Clooney give a great performance. Really good directing work for George Clooney. And Ryan Gosling give a phenomenal performance in the movie. So I want to be on a smaller movie than a lot of people have seen, but I think he's really good in when he pop up, especially with his scene with Ryan Gosling.
Chad, what do you say about the Ides of March?
Yeah, I was actually just watching this before jumping on here. And I did see enough of Paul Giamatti in the movie and the movie itself to say that it was hooking me. Like, I wanted to continue and was sad to pause it. Yeah, I dug what I saw, and I thought Paul Giamatti was really good in it. So I'll give it a yes. Yeah.
JPO, what do you say about the Ides of March?
This was actually my next one. Yeah, this is a powerhouse of a cast. Diaz kind of set it up pretty perfectly here. This is a Clooney written, directed movie, so he got a lot of people to come and play here, including the great Hoffman, the great Evan Rachel Wood's in this, Marissa Tomei, Jeffrey Wright. It's just a set cast, including Clooney himself and Gosling, I said, and Giamatti, of course, as why we're talking. So, good, really fun political kind of drama, almost thriller at points. So this is great. This belongs here.
Stephen, what do you say about the Ides of March?
Yeah, it is a great movie. It's pretty riveting. The cast, including Giamatti is great. So I would have reluctantly because there are other movies that I would have loved to have seen on the list, but I would have reluctantly said yes.
Um, but yeah, this is one that I also watched for the first time this year. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie. And yeah, I'm going to give it a slight yes as well. I think Paul Giamatti's great in it, and yeah. Chris, what do you say about the odds, Matt? Speak Chris put it up. Yeah. But yeah, the odds about just gonna make it done, and my calculations are correct. It is 12 movies. Um, yep, that's 12. So just to recap what's on our list, we've got Big Fat Liar, Sideways, Win Win, Love and Mercy, Man on the Moon, Saving Private Ryan, Straight Outta Compton, American Splendor, 12 Years a Slave, Cinderella Man, Saving Mr. Banks, and The Ides of March. Chad, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, I was actually like thinking about maybe bringing it up. The Planet of the Apes movie, which is not a good movie, but it kind of like a joke thing. I was thinking about bringing up just because when I saw that movie, like he was a really fun, interesting part of the movie. Like, and I think the biggest part of that movie that works is like the makeup and stuff like that. I thought he was at least really interesting in that movie. But the one that I actually saw tonight that is my number one movie of the year. I think it's going to be an all timer, and it's just going to be a Christmas staple for me coming up. I don't think any movie this year comes close. I hope it wins Best Picture, but it probably won't. We'll see. Maybe not. But it's The Holdovers. I thought that movie was really incredible. If you haven't seen it, I'm hyping it up a lot, but it just personally, I'm a big Christmas guy, and I don't know, it feels very like Dead Poet Society kind of a deal. And so you love movies like that, like coming of age and stuff. And I obviously haven't seen every Paul Giamatti movie, but this may be the best performance I've seen from him ever. So yeah. But I need to see more of his movies. But yeah, this is such a good performance, and I'm hoping a lot of acting nominations come for it, and screenplay. I think would be great too. But pretty much just those. I think.
But JPO, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, man. Stuff people should check out. I really do, like, besides the jokes, really do support Barney's version. That movie really hit me in the right way, and I think it's obviously from this episode and every time I brought it up on ASAT or a Picks and List, severely underseen. Confidence is a really fun movie, kind of like a con. Everyone's kind of twisting and conning everybody with Dustin Hoffman and Ed Burns and Rachel Weisz. That's a lot of fun. The HBO film Too Big to Fail about the downfall of the economy. Just again another really like well written, stacked cast kind of movie. Giamatti's great in that. He's the lead in a really weird, unique movie called Cold Souls, which is about a guy that goes to storage his soul and finds out his soul is actually quite small. Private Parts, he's the guy that he's what is it? Pig Vomit or whatever, that he's kind of the he really is against Howard Stern. He's fun in that one here. A couple more, maybe The Negotiator is a good one too, with Sam Jackson and Name Redacted, and Rock of Ages. If you just like a fun, just they're singing all the hits kind of musicals, and he's got a wacky beard or wacky hair in it. So yeah, I like those.
And Stephen, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Yeah, he's done a lot of movies that I love, but I don't really remember him in them, like Donnie Brasco and Cradle Will Rock and My Best Friend's Wedding.
Hey, Donnie Brasco was just labeled as like technician or some shit. Yeah.
But yeah, I love The Negotiator. That's a great 90s thriller. Private Parts. I know when it came out, it got a lot of comparisons to The Devil Wears Prada. I kind of like The Nanny Diaries a little more than The Devil Wears Prada, to be honest. Um, The Illusionist is a movie that when it came out, it was kind of overshadowed by the somewhat similar The Prestige, but I like that movie a lot. And one movie I wouldn't have brought up that I love because Paul Giamatti has a very small part in it and he's pretty terrible in it. But I'm a defender of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just not him in it.
It's close to making an honorable mention for me. Yeah, it's close.
But yeah, like for me, say what you want about Three Claws. I actually think Paul Giamatti is great as Santa in it. I'm a defender of the San Andreas Star in the Rock. I think it's a good movie. And a movie that I actually watched for the first time that I wasn't going to bring up just because I didn't know where people were going to stand on this, but I think The Last Station is a really good movie. And I think Paul Giamatti is really good in it. And yeah, I was probably going to bring up Rock of Ages at some stage, but I do like Paul Giamatti in that movie as well. And then My Best Friend's Wedding is one that I probably would have brought up at some stage too. But Chris, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
The Little Prince, and it's really good. Like, I have a soft spot for Shoot 'Em Up a little bit, and I feel his guilty pleasure movie at Ginger. I like the publicity a little bit. Like, yeah, the fan stuff here and there. And Doctor Dolittle is a little guilty pleasure too. But yeah, Charlie off Chad. The hold over, you'll see it. Amazing. Paul Giamatti should win for Best Actor. Like, it might be my favorite performance of his, and he delivered one of the best performances I've seen this year. Along with Divine Randolph and the kid, like, 3 great performance back to back is my favorite movie of the year right now. Debbie Oppenheimer for my favorite of the year so far. So yeah, it's a recommendation for me too.
And some honorable mentions that were brought up in the chat. Brian brought up the first Big Mama's House.
Get out of here. No, I don't know you, Logan. You're a silent nice guy, but get out of here. That's fine.
Even though it's a miniseries, and counted for this. But Dan brought up John Adams.
Not a movie, John, or not a movie, Dan.
Well,
fine, I guess.
John brought up
not the 12.
Robot. Leo brought up Duets.
I don't know what that is.
That's with Gwyneth Paltrow.
I don't remember him in the first Doctor. I don't remember him in that movie, but apparently he was in the.
He's a voice. I think that's why I don't even have it on my letterbox. I think.
And some other ones that were brought up is
oh no,
again not top 12, and I'm slightly a defender depending on.
I like Larry.
You're the best movie, but no.
But anyway, it's time to vote on where we want these movies, and yeah, write down on the whiteboard what you want for number 12. But Chris, what do you have for 12?
Stop becoming a small part. I don't remember him that well in the movie. Saving Private Ryan.
Chad, what do you have for 12?
Yeah, actually, Saving Private Ryan. I forgot that made the list. That's also my top.
JPO, what do you have for 12?
Saving Mr. Banks.
Stephen.
I almost as a joke because it's 12. I almost wanted to put 12 Years a Slave, but I went with Win-Win.
I went with Shaving Ryan's Privates. But Saving Private Ryan is going to be at number 12. Chad, what do you have for 11? JPO.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Stephen.
Well, I'm gonna change it to 12 Years a Slave.
That's cheating.
I went with Big Fat Liar. And Chris,
Wet Man on the Moon.
but it's going to be 12 Years a Slave. JPO, what do you have for 10?
Saving Mr. Banks.
Stephen.
Went back to win-win.
Big Fat Liar. Chris.
Getting back to Man on the Moon.
Chad.
Oh.
Also, Chad, I don't know if you muted for a reason, but you muted. But I've seen you board anyway, so.
Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna try it, and I say it's okay.
We got a movie on, so I'm just
What movie, Chad?
Get Out.
I wasn't literally the other night.
But Stephen, what do you have for 9?
Saving Mr. Banks.
Big Fat Liar. Chris.
Died of the March.
Chad.
I'll second Ides of March.
JPO.
Second, Saving Mr. Banks.
So it's a tie between the Ides of March and Saving Mr. Banks. It falls on me because I was down it had something different. But yeah, I'm sticking with Big Fat Liar. Chris.
You know where I go with Big Fat Liar?
Chad. JPO.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Stephen.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks. So Chad, it's between Big Fat Liar and Saving Mr. Banks. What one do you want at 8?
Saving Mr. Banks.
All right.
Get your paint off. I really just wanted to save Big Fat Liar, and I thought, which between win-win and saving Mr. Banks, which one is the more likely?
Nobody would be getting Disney checks.
But moving on to number 7, Chris, what do you have?
Big Fat Liar.
Chad, what do you have for 7? JPO.
Big Fat Liar.
And Stephen.
Ah. Win wins.
Big Fat Liar is going to be at 7.
I like Big Fat Liar. Okay, now we're getting more tougher.
Chad, what do you have at 6?
It's only because I haven't seen it.
JPO.
It's only because it's the right placement. Win-win.
Stephen.
Yep, stuck with win win.
Win-win. Chris.
Yeah, I would have gone opposite. That's sideways, not big on this till like you guys are. I think I personally read the right though.
Just when I thought it was going to be, we're all going to be in consensus for number 6.
Yeah. A lot of women a little bit more than you guys. But that one.
Just to recap what's left, we've got Sideways, Love and Mercy, Straight Outta Compton, American Splendor, and
Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man.
Ooh, I see Chan's answer.
Chad, what do you have for number 5? JPO.
Straight out your fucking mind. American Splendor.
Stephen.
American Splendor.
Love and Mercy.
Sideways.
But American Splendor is going to be at 5.
That would have been my number 1.
No way.
JPO, what do you have for number 4?
Sideways.
Stephen, what do you have for number 4?
I normally don't vote for movies I haven't seen, but in this case, I'll go with Straight Outta Compton.
I went with Love and Mercy.
I have personal reason why I picked this. The Sideways.
So we've got 2 for Sideways, 2 for Straight Out Compton, which means it falls on me. And yeah, I'll get it. I've got to do this one.
Well, I know on one based on how much you're typing. Yeah, wrong
Yeah.
choice. I disagree
Even
with
though
the choice you made.
And my number 1 is
Stephen, what do you have for number 3?
I absolutely love it, but I've only seen 2 out of the 3, so Cinderella Man.
Love and Mercy.
Sideways.
Chad. JPO.
Sideways.
And no, we started with Stephen. But Sideways is going to be at number 3. Means it's between Love and Mercy and Cinderella Man. And we're voting for number 1. Just But Chris, what do you have for number one?
Why not my personal number one? Love and Mercy.
Chad.
Should have been nominated for Best Picture. Cinderella Man.
JPO.
Okay, should have been nominated for Best Picture. Love and Mercy.
True.
Even.
Cinderella Man.
And yes, Cinderella Man.
Great top three.
But with that, that brings us to the end of another episode of Rankin. Next week is going to be top 12 voice performances in DreamWorks movie. But JPO, we can do find you online.
Well, first you can find me teaching origami right here, Goose. But besides teaching origami that I am a master at, catch me over at the Piersco. We had a short hiatus because I moved twice in the last month. I don't recommend doing that. Don't do that. That was dumb. But we're starting back up. We will have a set on Tuesday, and you might maybe see some familiar faces there. Except for Chad, because he never fucking signs up because he hates me. But we have a lot of fun over at that channel, including Countdown. I legitimately now do want to do Adam Goldberg top 10, Giovanni Ribisi top 10. So, if you're interested, let me know, because I love me some character actors that never get talked about. And happy to talk about Paul Giamatti. Also, catch me over at Pierce Wrestling Channel. Catch me over at the Real Pro Wrestling Channel. Catch me over at Battleground, Lights Out, Movie Hero Network, Your Mother's Basement. Wherever I can go, I will go. And also catch me using this bathroom right now. Love you guys.
But just because I forgot to do this before we went to the plugs, here's a recap of our top 12 Paul Giamatti movies. At 12, we've got Saving Private Ryan. At 11, we've got 12 Years a Slave. At 10, we've got Man on the Moon. At 9, we've got The Ides of March. At 8, we've got Saving Mr. Banks. At 7, we've got Big Fat Liar. At 6, we've got Win Win. At 5, we've got American Splendor. At 4, we got Straight Outta Compton. At 3, we got Sideways. At 2, we got Love and Mercy. And number 1, we got Cinderella Man. And we got JPO back.
Oh, so I feel like I stepped on what you were saying. Oh, did I do my gun?
No, your plugs were done. I just forgot to recap the top.
Oh, 12. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me here and there anywhere over at Open Act Trivially. I just played against Jack Pinchot in Star Wars, and I might have beat that. You find out. And then you find me anywhere out here and there, join the channel, Battleground, everywhere. And you just follow me and chat. I know love for the hood over there. Talk about it for a while.
Chad, where can people find you online?
I also want to say I loved JPO's Liar Liar bit. That was great. But yeah, I don't shout out TMG's Entertainment's movie Battleground enough. Check that out, because there's a lot of fun debate going on down over there. But yeah, check out my channel, Chadwick Webb, where we rank things. We react to stuff and do reviews and stuff like that. A lot of fun over there. Check out the Dill Pickle Movie Network. He does a lot of stuff over there, but mainly I co-host a show called Picture This. Malcolm's been on it, and that's still our most viewed episode, the one with Malcolm, because it's we talked a lot about Saving Private Ryan on that one, and Shakespeare in Love. But yeah, we go through all of the Best Picture nominees. And then this month we're doing 1985 because The Color Purple musical is coming out. So we're like, let's revisit The Color Purple from 1985. So doing that. My wife was on last month for 1999 to cover The Sixth Sense, which is a really, really great episode. Check that out. And then next month we're doing The Apartment, so 1960. So a lot of really great fun that had over there. Check out that channel and that show in particular. Check out the Nerd Entertainment Network, where we do a show called Welcome to Primetime. We talk horror, we talk Buffy, we do brackets, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun over there. It's also my wife Carrie and my buddy Hunter, and we have a great time. Check out my letterbox. I don't know. Watch some good movies. Thanks for having me on. This was fun.
I don't know when you're recording the episode, but 1985 my birthday. If you want a guest, just hit me up. But Stephen, we can be on you online.
Here and there. Tomorrow I'll be on the Movie Hero Network for the 2005 ladder series. Then
2006.
And yeah, I haven't really. What? Oh, 2006. Yeah, 2000.
Yeah.
I guess I said 2005. I mean, yeah. I haven't done much lately with my letterbox, but I hope to pick that up. So, my letterbox at S Shepherd 82.
And yeah, you can also find me tomorrow on Tournament Fights for the later series for best movies of 2006. And yeah, you can also find me hosting Rankum every Sunday. Next week is going to be top 12 voice actors in DreamWorks movies. I think I know one person who might want on there. Just not saying anything. But you can also find me hosting trivia over on Full Metal singles. This week is going to be a really good match between Jonathan Carroll and Tony Durso. And yeah, but yeah, until next time, just keep listening shit, and yeah, we'll see you next week.